Welcome to GT Not Live, where it's a new era, friends. I got a break. I had a little bit of time off, which was really nice, but now I'm back on the couch with not Stephanie, who needs her anymore. Instead, I've replaced her with various stuffed animals of alternating sizes, because what says grown man talking about video games on YouTube quite like him hanging out with a stuffed animal that is literally twice his size? Isn't that right, Gigachew? That's right, Matthew. Isn't that right, Baby Chew? Absolutely. I swear I haven't lost my mind. But on the plus side, I don't just have to talk to inanimate objects. I also have Chris, which is a tier above an inanimate object.
Hello.
Hey, Chris. Chris is still hanging out.
I've never left.
You haven't? Where have you been hiding this whole time?
Your moving pod.
My moving pod?
I guess I blew that one. You didn't have a moving pod, did you?
No. You mean those pods that move with your stuff?
Yeah,
No,
they're like the on-the-go storage units.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. I thought you were just hiding in like the crevices of the house.
I mean, that's what I do now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine then.
I enjoy a good crevice.
That's true. We have a lot of crevices that you can choose from too. This new house that we got is actually really exciting because there's a lot of secret doorways into spaces in between the walls where all sorts of creatures or humans can hide. So I'm glad you're enjoying your space. If you want a change of scene, Ollie has a couple in his room too.
Oh.
So you can just take your tour of the various wall spaces around our house.
I haven't watched him sleep yet, so that'll be.
Yeah, make sure you take time in every room to get the full slate of the land. That'd be great. Thanks. Hey, so since Stephanie's not on the couch really anymore, that leaves me time to do whatever I want with every single one of these live streams, which aren't actually live. Eventually, I'm hoping to get an editor in here who can help spice things up, but haven't had time to look for that person, and that's a hard job to fill. And all our existing editors work all the time on game theory, film theory, and food theory. Go figure! They take a long time to make, and a lot of people. So you're just stuck with me unedited, at least for today. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about in my newly unshackled state on GT Not Live is Five Nights at Freddy's. What? As if we didn't do that before. But now I can actually talk about it in, without Stephanie's snarky comments beside me the entire time, being like, FNAF at Freddy. No, this is just expert mode now. This is Five Nights at Freddy's 301 to 401. If college credit was being given out for Five Nights at Freddy's talk, this would be an example of one of those courses. So while I was taking my little break, I saw that Dawko, and you guys let me know, that Dawko was doing a charity stream, which he does every once in a while, which is amazing. He tends to do 24-hour charity streams. For a while, he was doing it for St. Jude. Now this one was for the World Wildlife Fund. So congratulations to him on hitting his donation goal. That was incredible. As someone who has arranged a couple of charity live streams in the past, I recognize how hard it is to do those just long streams uninterrupted. And so, for us, we've done like 8-10 hours. To do 24 hours straight, holy cow. So Dawko, well done to you. But one thing that happened during his charity stream is Scott donated, as he tends to do as a part of these. But some fun little Easter egg happened throughout that stream where the Steel Wool team, coupled with Scott and stuff, were dropping in new teaser images of Security Breach as his stream went on. And so I've gotten a lot of requests from you guys over on the Game Theorist subreddit and on Twitter, at MattPatGT. Just tweet directly at me. To actually look at these, analyze them, talk about them. I haven't gotten a chance to look at them, so this is all live reaction right here. I literally just got back from my little break that I took to clear my head, and I figured this is pressing. We want to do this right now, so let's get into it. What better way to start off this new era of GT Not Live than talking some FNAF and looking at images very closely? It's not like we played games on here anyway, so Here we go. I believe there were 19 images. I have them all pulled up here. We've got 20 images?
20 images.
20, you counted them?
Yeah.
Nice, okay. That's very exciting. Thank you for counting them, Chris. So let's, I have them in no particular order. I'm assuming, if I know Scott and everything connected to FNAF, that I'm sure, like, the basic ones were revealed early in the stream, and probably, like, the most exciting one was revealed at the end. Don't know what order they came in. We're just going to look at these flat out and see if there's anything new that we can learn about this new game outside of kind of the trailer reaction that we did the other day. So this first one is atrium wallpaper here, and I'm going to do my best to zoom in when I want to look around. So this looks to be the main hub area of the game. Maybe not main hub area, because if it was the main hub area, it would be that big room with all the statues that you see in the trailer and all the kind of like offshoots for the animatronics. So maybe this is just the massive dining room, which is pretty cool. Right off the bat here, and this is kind of how things work when I'm doing theories, so this is kind of like a peek behind the scenes as I just look at stuff, right? So immediately right off the bat, this catches my attention. The Bonnie Bowl, because Bonnie, as far as we've known up to this point, is not in this game, right? This is, I believe, the first indication that we have that Bonnie exists, because so far in all the teasers, trailers, talk about this game, it's been the Mega Pizzaplex, and it's been Monty the Gator, Glamrock Freddy, Chica, and then Roxanne Wolf. And so the idea that Bonnie is actually here is pretty exciting, and it makes me wonder what the role is going to be here. It's also interesting because so far we've seen stuff like Monty's Gator Golf, we've seen stuff like Roxanne's Race Course. We haven't seen, as far as I know, anything having to do with a bowling alley. So I don't know if this is just going to be a reference to Bonnie and just like, hey, Bonnie exists in this world too, or if this is another mini game that we are going to get to play, or another section of the mall that we are going to get to experience that we just haven't seen yet. The fact that we haven't seen it yet makes me think that it might be one of the final areas where the reveal of Bonnie, like if it is explorable in the game, I would almost expect it to be a final thing, because you reveal the stuff in the trailers that doesn't spoil things. You know, that's kind of like interesting gameplay or interesting new locations. This, to me, the fact that we haven't seen it means it's either just an Easter egg or it's going to be one of those things that's saved to the very end of the game, which would be pretty cool. One of the things that Scott does is really well is makeup and what the teams do at this point, because it's not just Scott. This would be the Steel Wool team. Make up funny, sodas and chip brands and things. Although I can't make out what this one is. Godoroni? Godroni? The pepperoni treats? The pepperoni treats. Pepperoni soda. Yeah, I don't... Usually it's, the soda names, the food names have puns or things. I don't know what this is. I can't really make it out. It does seem like Godroni. Godroni! Would you drink a pepperoni beverage, Chris?
I probably would, just out of curiosity.
Right? Why not? We've done our fair share of nasty food challenges on this show.
I've tasted and smelled many a bad thing.
Right? Good, bad, other. So yeah, I'd be curious. Pepperoni. I could think of worse things to drink.
And who knows, maybe it's like, are we talking a syrup, a sauce, an extract?
Ooh, an extract.
Is this something you add to your...
Pepperoni extract.
You put it on your bread so you feel like you're eating pizza?
It reminds me of the food theory episode that we did on the lickable screens where they synthetically reproduce flavors. A lickable pepperoni. Oh, man.
I forgot about. That's a good episode.
That was a good episode. Did you watch that one?
No.
I didn't think so. You're just lying to me. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I wanted to be supportive.
No, that was good. Always say yes. But I also knew that you didn't watch it. Unless I'm hiring you to be here, I don't think you're watching a lot of our videos. No offense. It's totally fine.
I watch at least one off of every channel a month.
Really?
I do,
that's nice. Thank you. What was the last one that you watched? I'm putting Chris in the hot seat now.
I don't know. It was a game theory. It had to do with something or another.
Wow.
It was Mario. It was a Mario-related theory.
Okay, great. I recommend the Crow 64 one. I think you would get a kick out of it.
That was a fun thumbnail.
It was a fun thumbnail. Great. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for your support. What else do we got here? We've got Roxy Raceway, which we've seen before in other teasers and trailers. So, this does seem to be like, it might not be the main hub, but it does seem to be like a sub-hub or, an area where you can kind of take photos in front of the various attractions, which is kind of cool. The Glamrock, what is that, beauty salon? A Glamrock beauty salon. Okay, so Steph and I talked about this in the trailer reactions, where it seems like this might be one of those things where you get a makeover in the style of the characters, similar to in Disneyland, you get the princess makeover, the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. So this is going to give you a gnarly 80s hairstyle, which I love that. I think that's a great little touch. And honestly, like, if this were a place, like in real life, I would I would love this place, honestly. To this day, I love any of those kind of cheesy restaurants with a bunch of arcade games and, little attractions everywhere. In Ohio, there's Scene 75, which does kind of the same thing where you have your golf cart. Oh, wait, here, is this bowling? Right down there? Does that look like the bowling to me? Because that looks like where the balls kind of like roll up, or kind of it almost looks like alleys or something. Is that just me?
I can see what you're talking about, but it's such a, I can't.
Right, it's such a small piece and it's so blurry and stuff.
It could easily be like the top of a trash can too.
It could literally be any of those things, but like it looks like the speakers there that you sometimes have at bowling alleys and things like that, and it kind of looks, the checkered line maybe is where you start bowl. No, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Bonnie Bowl. So I guess the big takeaway of this one is, hey, Bonnie is at least present in some capacity in this game, which is cool. Let's see, this is Chica Green Room. Okay, so that kind of confirms what we were guessing earlier. We initially thought that this would be places for character meet and greets, and it seems like that's the case. So before they go on stage, you can hang out with them in the green room, which for anyone who's not a theater person, that's the place where actors or performers get ready or hang out before a show. And so this seems to be like Chica's, get ready beauty salon, and probably used as a meet and greet, at which point then when the animatronic is ready, she exits through kind of like the factory door here and presumably out into kind of a main stage area to meet up with the other animatronics, which is cool. I think one thing that's interesting here is compared to everything else, which has this kind of like 80s, this very sleek stylized look to it, you have what looks to be the classic cupcake here, like FNAF 1 style cupcake, as opposed to everything else, which feels much more like modern or polished. I say modern even though it's 80s themed, but it feels different compared to like this cupcake. So it's interesting to see that cupcake kind of peeking in through the shadows, which makes me wonder if there's any other Easter eggs around, or if that's actually going to be watching us throughout the whole thing. Fitness through food. That's hashtag relatable right there. Nothing like pizza as part of your diet. See, Chica's diet advice. That's the diet advice I want to follow right there. Fitness through food.
Do you know how many calories you burn when you eat a pizza?
And 1. And 2. And 3. Yeah, honestly, there it is. I always knew I liked Chica the best. Now I understand why. Chica gets it, man. Chica gets me in a way that none of these other animatronics do. Also, I feel like this, I don't know if it's a direct reference or not, but this is such a like Cyndi Lauper-esque pose and look with the finger gloves and stuff from her like early 80s. Also early Madonna had that kind of when her career was back in the 80s too. Is that also a Chica down? I guess it is. For whatever reason, that one doesn't look like it's pixelated, so that's part of the problem, but that one doesn't look as Chica-y to me as some of the other ones. It almost looks Ballora-esque, but I doubt that Ballora is making an appearance here. Okay, so that's Chica's room. I also appreciate that she likes ice cream. Ice cream and pizza, man. Girl after my own heart. Chica, definitely stand Chica right now. All right. Oh, this is the station I'm all about right here. The drink station. I'm glad that Steel Wool felt it important enough to show us the drink refill station, which, again, where I'd be hanging out a bunch if I was at this place. Also important to note, they've got the black and red of Coke Zero, so we could, this is definitely approved. This is a MatPat approved place. It's my third favorite diet beverage based on the recent food theory that we did. So that's awesome. I will say it looks like they're reprising some of the joke cola logos from FNAF VR. So in FNAF VR, when you completed minigames, you unlocked presents that were surprises, from little animatronic characters to chips and beverages that had funny made-up names. And if I recall correctly, some of these purple and like gradient logos look similar to some of the sodas that you unlocked in that game. So they are connected, which is cool. The wet floor is kind of funny. This guy is totally a Wall-E ripoff, right? Like the scrubber guy from Wall-E, who was in already one of probably my favorite Pixar movie, like one of my favorite characters in that Pixar movie, because he's so funny.
Oh, that whole movie is just nonstop cuteness.
It's amazing. I to this day I cry no less than 3 times every time I watch Wall-E. I cry out of happiness. It's a movie that like says so little and is like so emotionally evocative for me. I don't know, just Wall-E's love of Eva, man.
Wall-E is a great, and the movie opens with the Barbra Streisand movie version
Of Hello Dolly.
Of not even the song Hello Dolly,
no.
the whatever going out on the town song.
Yeah.
Which to me is a better song than Hello Dolly.
Oh, it's absolutely the best. Like it is, if second or number 1 best song of that show. Oh, and it's again like his connection, it hits the musical theater nerd in me. It hits, oh God, Wall-E's so good.
Crying there.
Just thinking about Wall-E's getting me all choked up.
Get a dime cigar.
It is. It's 3 times. It's when he holds Eva's hand, like when he's shy and holds Eva's hand. It's when he's sadly watching Hello Dolly, and it's when they do their little space dance with when he's got the little fire extinguisher.
I totally forgot about the space dance. That scene is beautiful.
It's so gorgeous. It's so like Up makes me cry like a baby in the first 15 minutes, like because it's just a gut punch, and you just ugly cry at the beginning of that one. But Wall-E has the most like warm, fuzzy cries of them all. Anyway, I have a deep connection with Wall-E, so already I'm getting choked up. It looks like I don't know if this will be a gameplay mechanic or if this is just another character. It is interesting to see that this looks to be Rockstar Freddy falling on the wet floor, and as the toys have indicated, it seems like you can hide, like you're playing as the little boy, and he's able to hide in Rockstar Freddy's chest, for protection or whatever, or to operate it in some evil mech suit. And so I wonder if the way to kind of like, I wonder if wet floor would actually be a gameplay mechanic where, Freddy fell and you got bumped out of it, and all of a sudden the killer is chasing after you. Anything else interesting in this one? Not too much. I like the cactus theme, feels real random, but it's one of those like party places, so they just take whatever stuff that they can find and throw it at a wall and see what sticks. It is weird. The whole thing seems to have kind of a like cactus or desert theme over here. I don't know who would be associated with that either.
Yeah, I would maybe think a joke on the drink station bit, but like it's an oasis, but that doesn't make sense with the tables that much.
Right? Yeah, I'm kind of and these look like they're air hockey.
Oh.
These aren't eating tables so much as it is like air hockey. Right?
No, like you're right. It definitely looks like air hockey.
And then there's your kind of like bar stools and stuff. Yeah, it seems like an entryway into an arcade area or something, but yeah, I don't know. The desert thing seems weird, and it seems disconnected from everything else we've seen so far. Actually, that's, speaking of the desert theme, even these flags, if you think to the opening of Coco, where they're doing Dia de los Muertos.
Do you think it's a whole Mexican-themed restaurant Freddy Faz there?
At least this part of it seems like it might be, because these seem like piñatas. These seem like the paper cutouts that they use as decorations during Dia de los Muertos. The cacti all seem to reinforce kind of, like Mexican or kind of that theme down there, a la like Coco, if you're familiar with that movie. So that's really interesting. And seems very disconnected from kind of what's come before. So it's just an interesting new kind of design aesthetic for something that we've seen a lot of other areas. And so that's just kind of an interesting one-off. This is the laser tag maze, which, man, I love laser tag. I haven't played it in over a decade, but man, I think the last time I played laser tag was actually my bachelor party before I got married to Steph.
That is a great bachelor party.
It was amazing. I mean, I told you I'm a fan of these sorts of places, and so for my bachelor party, we did laser tag, mini golf, and we got like wings beforehand and stuff. But like and then ice cream cake was the big like dessert.
Had yourself a whole little birthday party.
Yeah, like it was me and all my adult buddies doing 10-year-old activities, and it was the best. It was amazing. Super, super fun. Highly recommend. And when the world reopens, if anyone wants to play laser tag with me, let me know, because I will be right there. Nothing too much to say here. I'm assuming this is going to be a big chase maze sequence. Probably try to get up here to see where the animatronics are chasing you. I wouldn't be surprised if this was also maybe a grand finale thing, because it seems like it's going to force you to know all the mechanics of the game and sneak your way around and things like that. But
it vaguely makes me think of that Halloween FNAF VR thing where you're running away from one of the Foxy.
Grim, I believe he was Grim Foxy. So, obviously, Grim Reaper, Fire Foxy, No, it totally does. I think that this is just kind of like a different version of that. Hopefully it's a little less confusing than that one, because that was really hard. It would also be funny if they just took that exact, because it's Steel Wool did both games, right? So it'd be funny if they just took that exact map and just plopped it down, just wholesale, like, well, that chunk of the game's done. Move on to the race course, I guess. Let's see. This looks like just where people are paying, or a checkout area. Any interesting details? Again, like in theory mode, I'd be like, I wonder if there are any numbers here. Any words or secret stuff, but it doesn't seem like it's high enough quality as an image to see what those are. The main guys again, Monty, just kind of everyone we expect. Anything back there in the printer? Nothing too exciting. And that's not like on one hand I'm like, oh, is it a security booth? But it doesn't really look like it just looks like your checkout area, so that's fine. What do we got here? So this is Freddy's green room. Oh wait, the name of it would say the counter. Yeah, counter, easy. Interesting. So here, what do we got? Okay, so you can already see into the back room. So again, like as the trailer showed, there's going to be a mix of like in the main public space with all the games and toys and eateries and this and that. And then it seems like you're going to dip back into the backstage area a decent bit too, to kind of maneuver around, probably access the inner workings, the dark secrets behind this pizzeria restaurant. And so it seems like maybe the green rooms are one way to kind of access back there, which is cool. And you can kind of sneak a peek back there. This is really strange to me. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but is it just me, or does this feel like it is designed for him to be like lifting off his head?
It totally looks like that.
Doesn't it? Like the balloon, there are a bunch of balloons, but the balloons form an arm that's lifting up the head. The arm here looks like it's lifting off the head. It's a weird, if that's a coincidence, that is a weird coincidence. I wouldn't be surprised if this was intentional. Maybe as an allusion to the idea that, hey, in this game, you are putting on the suit, or you are inside of Glamrock Freddy, something that we've been kind of hypothesizing, that the toys have been leading us towards believing, but maybe this weird balloon layout is also kind of pointing us in that direction. Got your stage lights like we have here, typical stage lights to light up the area. I made the guess earlier that there was a golden Freddy, but it looks like that's just how they've recreated him in neon is, yellow, or maybe it's just, how brown looks in neon with the purple. So maybe no appearance of Golden Freddy, but like a nice allusion to him, or kind of like a nice nod to other parts of the franchise. Oh, that's interesting. So these back here look to be examples of some of the original illustrations. So obviously you have like, oh, here's our glamour photos and this and that, from this new era of Fazbear animatronic. But it seems like Freddy, for his fans or whatever, has kept some of his fan art from the originals. Like even these two in particular strike me as ones that I've seen before. Freddy with the music notes and stuff, maybe from FNAF 1 or 2. But it is interesting that kids are making these drawings. I don't know if they're the same from before, but it would indicate some level of continuity of these animatronics to where they are now. So that's a cool little detail, if nothing else. Similar to kind of the Chica thing. Here's more bowling references. So again, like, we haven't seen any sort of mentions of bowling or anything up to this point. And so the fact that these teaser images that were dropped during Dawko's stream keep referencing bowling makes me think that there is going to be a bowling mechanic in here, which, hey, I know a lot of people like fishing in their video games. I will take bowling any day of the week. Wii bowling, absolutely. I am all for it. I also, seeing these arcade games, it makes me wonder how many are actually going to be playable. I would be surprised if there weren't at least one arcade game playable. Because, this whole series is built on, like, 8-bit minigames and this and that, and games riffing on other games and stuff. So I'm hopeful that at least one of these kind of arcade games that we see around this whole world are playable and, hold some sort of deep lore secret or something. Gator Golf! What do we got here? So we got Monty's room. We knew Gator Golf was going to be a thing based on the trailer. It looks like it also has some rides attached to it. This, to me, looks like one of those octopus rides that go up and down at the amusement park. So you sit in it, you probably free spin, and it kind of like goes up and down, which is cool. I like that. I don't know if you'd be able to ride it or if the game will have you riding it, but that would be pretty awesome if you could. I was always a big fan of the octopus rides. Anything else? Nothing too much here. Monty's outline in the carpet. I like that this is riffing on the classic Gator Golf, the game that you had as a kid. I never had Gator Golf. Chris, did you ever play Gator Golf as a kid?
I did not. I didn't do any golf that wasn't physical mini golf.
Yeah, right. No, me neither. But I know Gator Golf, wasn't it one where like he would just go around and you had to like knock it into his mouth and they would like chase after you or something? Wasn't that Gator Golf?
I mean, that makes me think of Hungry Hungry Hippo, but
maybe I'm mixing them up. There was also Mr. Bucket who would chase you around if you didn't put your balls in his mouth.
So maybe they were all just iterations of Gator Mouth or Gator Golf.
Yeah, they're all. Maybe I'm thinking of the Gator Dentist game. Because there was also the Gator Dentist game. No, where you had to pull the teeth of the gator or push the teeth of the gator. And if you pushed the wrong tooth, he would like chomp down on you.
It was like Crying Crocodile or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do what you did earlier in the stream and say, yes, absolutely. That was a great episode. Crying Crocodile.
Touche.
That's the one. Let's Party. Not only is that classic 80s, this reminds me a lot of the earliest of early game theory references, which is to Matt Pat's Final Thought. So look that one up in the early episodes if you're not familiar with that. Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. If I had Photoshop pulled up right now, I'd try to brighten this to see if there was anything on the edges. I wouldn't be surprised if this one had edge things, play around with exposure and things like that, but since I don't have that, we're just reacting. Yep, it's a cool logo. Very exciting. Interesting new cast of characters. Again, though, the absence of Bonnie is really interesting, especially when you consider that Bonnie is a part of this crew in the bowling form. So he got kicked out of the band or something, wanted to do his own solo act or something. Who knows? This is a cool entryway, it looks like, into, I would assume, this looks like it's either maybe the final mini golf hole, because you see how it's kind of lower, it has the guide rails, so this might be the end of Monty's Gator Golf into back into kind of the main complex area, and welcoming you back into the area with all the, also shilling for the merch, man. Scott knows what's up. It's all about merch sales. That's where you go, man. So that's why every game needs at least 20 new animatronics, because that's Funko Pop right there, man. Get yourself as many Funko Pops as you can. Yep, cool. The space theme of Freddy still strikes me as interesting, because it's a fun reference to Freddy in space. But again, space is, so we have this weird like desert cactus theme that we haven't really seen in a lot of places, and we see Freddy keep referencing space through his like bubble helmet, but we've never seen like space represented here either. So those are pretty interesting. Man, this would be as a kid, can you imagine going to this mini golf course and just, like, this is awesome.
Any of these pictures so far, I'm like, I wish Chuck E. Cheese looked like this.
Right? Right? Instead of, like, a well-lit, gross,
very dirty,
sticky mess of a place that it is. Like, I look at this and I'd be like, I would be here every day. This is awesome. This is so cool. It's like, it's all your, like, childhood fantasies on steroids. It's amazing. This also reminds me of a mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. It is not. I'm assuming it's a light fixture or something, but man, that layout with the back and forth reminds me a lot of mitochondria. A lot of energy making materials here. The design of this is interesting. It makes me kind of look like a stomach, which is weird because here is Monty, and I'm assuming maybe you can go into his mouth, but see the ribs? Right, like this looks like ribs to me. The fact that there's a fish bone in here makes me think like, are we in his inner, like the red kind of slimy texture makes me think of his innards. So that's unusual. It's a cool aesthetic. So it's this weird mix of like, we're in a jungle area with Monty Alligator, but we're also inside of him by the end, which is kind of cool. We've got Chica's also golfing, which good for her. Ooh, it's a par 4. So that's a pretty mighty mini golf hole par system. I do wonder if, again, like if you are able to play mini golf, which it seems like you should be able to. There's been so much attention put into this. It would be weird for them not to let you play the game, but it seems like there will be a mechanic maybe of getting in under par, that they've taken into account that detail. These are weird. Whether they're benches to hang out on or like...
Oh, no, they're bumpers they're obstacles for your ball.
Oh, that's it! They are. They're bumpers for your ball, and presumably you have to get it into the hole up here or something. Good one. That's right. Cool. Awesome. Super cool. The Monty waterfall, that's fun. Ooh! From inside his mouth. But this is a...
He's not throwing up if we're inside his mouth.
Well, that's weird. So wait, is that the same angle? So he's looking at the 14th hole. I guess he could be. Maybe? No, because there's a wall here. Huh. So it looks like we're looking through Monty's mouth in a different way? Do you see what I'm talking about, Chris?
Well, yeah, this is definitely like a fixture.
Yeah, this is a fixture.
And you're right that this is a wall in front of him. Maybe either it's another part of the course that you
can also go into his, yeah.
Or maybe it's like supposed to be like a kid's perspective from his mouth.
Right, well that's what I was wondering, right? So clearly it looks like you'd be looking through his mouth here, but it's the geography doesn't line up. So this is either a different... Well, it's interesting. This to me looks like it's a kid's head, right? Because think about it. If this is my field of view, this isn't me unless this is just a random camera placement, which it could very well be. But from a perspective, if this is truly first-person perspective, this is me, maybe as Gregory the kid or whatever, inside of Monty looking out. Because size-wise, that seems to fit, which maybe there's a world where now all of a sudden you're actually able to get into multiple of the animatronics or use multiple of the animatronics to help you rather than just Freddy, which kind of went to what we were talking about during the trailer reaction, which was, hey, do you have to win over or unlock the ability to use the various animatronics to get to new sections of the world? Because this doesn't look like, oh, I'm walking up into this like a normal part of the course, although there's an entryway here, so if this was like a tongue slide or something, I guess that would lead up to where I'm standing. So I could see that going either way. Cool hole going through there. Monty's golf, nothing too much else, it doesn't seem like here. Oh, here's Monty's green room, which is indeed a green room. Definitely the harder rock guy, Montgomery Gator. It is interesting that unlike the other green rooms, Monty's it's either that he's like harder rock, or maybe he's the angry animatronic. Again, like there's been hypothesis about like, is Montgomery Gator one of the villains of this game? Because he is a newcomer. There is another voice in the trailer. You know, the fact that, you know, one of his lights is out, his neon sign isn't on and it's broken off the wall. You have all this cracking and stuff. It does make it seem like he's, you know, evil, either the evil one or an angry one or was the neglected one of the group or something. And so he went rogue, maybe, compared to some of the other guys. Because it is unusual that his section is so beat up relative to everyone else's. Even his chair here flipped over and stuff. So it seems like maybe he's stormed off or, you know, made a mess of his room or something. So it, again, kind of reinforcing this idea of, you know, he's the bad boy of the bunch or, you know, maybe the villain of the bunch. And then here, and so, yeah, compare it with Roxanne Wolf's, you know, everything's functioning, everything, all the lights are on, like it's very pretty. You know, she's the mechanic of the group, which kind of reinforces that whole speedway that we see in the trailer. She's rocking the keytar, which is the most 80s instrument of all time, which we gotta love. Looks like we might be able to unlock some trophies from doing her raceway. And that's interesting. I do wonder if they are playing this idea of you need to do things to unlock the animatronics or earn their loyalty. I wonder if that's a component of it. Like, hey, you need to beat my minigame in order to befriend me or use my abilities or whatever. That would be pretty cool. And here, got ourselves, this is an interesting Foxy reference. So this isn't Roxanne. This is actually Foxy here on the side. It looks like, what, maybe a FNAF 2 Foxy? Like his muzzle looks kind of ripped apart or exposed here a bit. And it looks like they're riding on some sort of go-kart or something. Like, it looks like they're on a cart ride. And so maybe this is some sort of like rail shooter as a game, and you're kind of like being led along a course and you have to shoot or attack evil rampaging Foxy or something. So that seems to me to indicate right here already, this seems to indicate that some of this is going to be playable. Like, I don't think you design this and not make that playable. That would be my guess there. And again, it's exciting because just like I brought up with Bonnie earlier, this is our first indication that Foxy is also present here, even though he's been replaced in the band by Roxanne Wolf. So it seems like we're going to be getting both these new guys and at least some passing references to the old guys as well. So I'm curious how those are going to play off each other. This seems to be the entryway to Roxanne's race course. So we've got ourselves, you know, her in her racing attire, the trophies that presumably we can win. Got some ATMs.
Oh.
So maybe we can take out some money.
Take some Faz bucks on the road.
Yeah. Fill our pockets with those fat Faz bucks. Make it rain the Faz dollars. It's true, though. So if there was that counter earlier, right? The cashier counter. So maybe there is some element of earning money in order to pay for things or unlock things. I could see that.
Win some plushies.
Yeah, oh, of course. It's not a FNAF game if you're not winning plushies and booping noses. There's only two things that matter in a FNAF game. Plushies and booping noses. Everything else, throw it away. Don't need it. They don't even need to be animals at this point. Whatever. As long as I can boop a nose, slap a Five Nights at Freddy's logo on it, we're golden.
Throw a fan in the background for the scares.
Right? That's my biggest complaint with this game. I have not seen a fan yet. Get out of here, Steelwool. Where is the fan? We all know that is the best character in these games. So this is interesting. So it looks like this is the entryway to the race course, right? So you can see we're in kind of like the garage, like maybe a starting garage or something. But we're presented with this screen, so I wonder, is this a real race track or is this all like augmented reality VR style? Similar to the Mario Kart ride that they're currently working on at Universal Studios. In the Super Mario Land in Japan, where it's like an augmented reality game where you're in a go-kart, but you're able to like launch attacks at other people through AR, which is this crazy thing. And right? Have you heard about this?
No.
It's amazing. So you get in a go-kart like you do in Mario Kart, but to simulate the idea of like being able to like throw banana peels and shells and stuff, there's an AR component to it where you hit item boxes, you get items, and apparently, I haven't seen it in action. And I was hoping that they would show up, but they haven't showed it yet, at least to my knowledge, where you can, like, in this AR screen that's in front of you, launch a shell at the cart in front of you and make them, I'm assuming, again, spin out and race each other, I think.
That's so cool.
Which is amazing. Right? Isn't that amazing?
That's like the best use of AR I have heard of so far.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Most AR is frightening. That's great.
Right? Yeah, make me play Mario Kart in real life. Absolutely. So I don't know. Maybe this is some element of it, because this seems kind of like... So is it really and physical, or is it... It's just odd. Like, I would assume the car would be there, and then you hop in and take off. But anyway, so that's the raceway. Fun. You also have another little, like, Tron-like bike ride over here. Let's see, zoom out a little bit more. There we go. Okay, here we go. So here's the Glam Rock Beauty Salon, like we talked about, the princess area, where, okay, ATM again. So it does seem like ATM is, you know, earning money, extracting money. It could just be there for set decoration and realism, but I feel like you wouldn't have that many ATMs in it if it wasn't a gameplay mechanic. Like, you want an ATM in each of these, like, main locations to unlock the level or pay for a turn or buy something at the counter or something. So it seems like money actually might be a component here, or maybe it's like tickets, some equivalent. Oh, and we saw the tickets actually in the trailer on the little Faz watch that he shows. So maybe ATM and these tickets kind of function all as the same, like, Faz currency. Something top, crop. This is a big makeup brush. I'm not sure what that, you know, do makeup like Chica, presumably, or Roxanne Wolf. Oh, and here we go. Here's more of that desert landscape. It's kind of like this is actually similar to Cars Land at Disneyland, at California Adventure. Where you go through the world of cars. This is almost identical to it. You go to the pit stop area and you see the big rock faces. I love Cars Land, and this is exactly it. Almost beat for beat, from the red rocks to, you know, the gas station attendant, things like that. So this is where we get our kind of like desert, you know, Mexican, or like New Mexican actually area represented. Different angle, I guess. Weird. I wonder why they chose two angles. I like that the trash can is just Freddy's mouth, which again implies he's eating things, or like you're maybe able to go in. It looks like maybe you can get the haircuts of the different animatronics, so like the Monty Mohawk, things like that. What else what are they trying to show me with this one, or just a different angle? Right, you don't show two angles of the same thing unless there's something specific to it, but maybe there isn't anything to it, just like, hey, I mean, this is a great view of it. Don't get me wrong. The famous Glam Rock Beauty Salon, yeah. Ooh, hey! This is different. Oh, wow, okay, so this is Salon 1 and 2. So this is sewer. Huh. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, so this is where the game gets dark now. Huh. So again, this would be one that I'd want to change the exposure or brightness of. That's interesting. So it seems like this is either maybe later in the game, or there are just multiple copies of the animatronics that get scrapped. That's really interesting.
You have at least two of them right there.
Oh, is there a second? Who's the second one?
Well, there's like a fuzzy blob right next to Chica.
Oh, okay.
Like just over her knee. That like dark.
Oh yeah,
is like has a fuzzy texture.
That's interesting, right? Yeah. So this seems to be like a disposal area. Maybe if you get caught, maybe if they misbehave. It's also worth noting that the missing beak here feels very reminiscent of FNAF 2. You know, FNAF 2, the toy animatronics. Huh. That's interesting. Just made a connection in my head. FNAF 2, the toy animatronics, right? One of the big things, why is Toy Chica missing her beak? The idea that, you know, this is either a reference to that moment, or like the idea that it just connected in my head. The toy animatronics in FNAF 2 lore are disposed of, right? They are scrapped, gotten rid of, and the FNAF 1 animatronics are kind of passed along to the next restaurant. And so the toy animatronics are just kind of this persistent thing that never really get a conclusion. They're just kind of like, oh, that's the end of the game, and we're done with them. I wonder, because the texture of the FNAF 2 animatronics are similar, or is similar to kind of, it's that hard body, polished exterior that these guys seem to have. And again, this is me just kind of talking in real time as I look at this, but I see this missing beak. I see the kind of like cracked damage on this animatronic as if it's a hard, glossy exterior, and it immediately makes me think, is this like a repurposed Chica, or is this the FNAF 2 toy animatronic suddenly with new skin? Which would be really interesting and would carry over something that was in the lore but has kind of been like washed away, or we kind of were like, all right, that they were fun while they lasted, but they kind of went away. That's interesting. If this is somehow connected to the FNAF 2 toy animatronics, that's a very interesting connection. And I could totally see him doing it because, so let's see, Toy Chica. Toy Chica had how many toes? I don't remember. That's hard. Maybe 3. I forget. I'd have to look it up. That's a tough one. But I'd want to look at how she was constructed to see if there was any similarities here. That's fascinating. But her head looks about the same size. The missing beak looks about the same. Huh. So presumably we're going to explore the sewers and see what happens to the animatronics when they're no longer needed. There's a logo. Super cool. Again, it's very, very interesting that we have yet to see Freddy. In all of these teaser images and all the trailer images, we still don't see Freddy outside of, branding for him. But we've never actually seen him physically in this world. So that's pretty intriguing. Which again implies that maybe he's on our side, or his role is different from what we expect or would expect. This is more sewer stuff. Again, a lot of mazes. It seems like a lot of mazes in this game. We saw in the trailer that Monty is able to break through kind of like locked fences. So maybe you need Monty to kind of break through there, as evidenced by the green. Again, this is one that I want the like sliders. Okay, so this is Chica's area. So, okay, we're seeing the space theme now, because there's the rocket. So maybe this... Oh, and there's Fazbear. So maybe this is into Freddy's section of the park that we haven't seen so much. Chica of the Sea. Chica of the Sea. Yeah, obviously. Good reference to the tuna brand there. And here's our Moonface guy. Moondrop Sleepy Time Candy. Huh. That's
scary.
Right? Hey, kid, here you go. Here's some NyQuil. Knock you out.
Sleepy Time Candy.
Yeah, oh, Sleepy Time Candy. That's concerning in a lot of ways. That's really interesting. So presumably that's our moon-faced mascot there. What does that mean? Who would you... That's weird. So he would be... So if he has candy that puts you to sleep, maybe these are the nightmare animatronics. No, maybe that's just how he incorporates into this, is he is just a mascot for a candy brand in this world, and then the Sunshine guy is like the opposing candy brand, or like the wake up time. This Sleepy Time Candy, this makes me think of a gameplay mechanic in some way. Like, are you giving it to the animatronics? Are you giving it... Oh, maybe you could make Vanny fall asleep, or kind of like, to get her off your trail for a little bit, or buy you some time or something. This also kind of reinforces the idea of, the moon versus the sun and changing the clock hours, similar to like a Majora's Mask or something, where the time is progressing in real time, and you have to, manage the day-night cycle in some capacity. That's really intriguing. But it starts to give us an inclination of what the moon-faced animatronic that we've been seeing walking around, what he might do. I have no idea what that is, but that seems interesting. Okay. And then what else do we got? Whoops. Yeah, I know I need to scroll. And that's our last one, I think. Yes, West Arcade. Okay, so that is the last one. So, takeaways. Bonnie's in it. That's exciting. Lots of FNAF 1 references, which is exciting. Maybe a new life, or like a second coming of the toy animatronics, which would be really cool. I'd be very excited about that, to kind of connect the dots to where they are now, because I could absolutely see that being important. And Monty, more evidence that Monty is... to me, he's the biggest question mark. Is he good? Is he evil? I don't know. This view from inside his mouth seems to indicate like maybe he's a good guy, that we can ride in him. But then seeing his green room all messed up and broken makes me think that he's, you know, a villain that we have to kind of watch out for. So who knows? There's still a lot of unanswered questions here, but the more that we see, I mean, this seems like it's a huge game. And I know Scott's referenced like how delayed it's been and this and that because Steel Wool has made it such a big game. And so I'm curious, like right now there's no less than 4 or 5 pretty substantial seeming mini games in here. Maybe now there's bowling, there's laser tag, there's races, there's these haircut things, there's gator golf. Like there's just a lot in this. And the amount that is and isn't playable, I'm very curious about. But it seems like this is both forward-facing into the future of the franchise, as well as you have some references back to some earlier days. So it is continuing this continuity of story that we have, which is really cool. As far as when it comes out, no clue. Not in the slightest. I thought it was going to be in March, to be honest. I thought, like, oh, if they missed their December, you know, like Halloween-y period or end-of-year period, March, you know, that seems like a good time for a FNAF game. Usually a couple months into the year and they'll sneak one out. At this point, I don't even know. Maybe summer? Like, that's the next big kind of window that things tend to drop. So maybe June? This is a long one. This has been a long time coming. So it seems like it's going to be a big game. It's had a lot of production time to make it a big game. A lot of cool stuff happening. So I guess we just sit back and wait now and continue way overanalyzing every scrap of information that we get about it. So how'd I do? What did I miss? Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this new game. Any details that you think. Do you think the toy animatronics are actually going to be making an appearance? Let me know, and I'll be around. And I'm going to be on the couch with Gigachu and Peepachu 2.0 and Chris, because Chris is with me for a couple more days. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, remember, that wasn't a video, but it was a video for you. See ya!